I am super excited because this very impromptu drive is to go and take a look at XPEL Malaysia, the Porsche Speedster. And I'm excited because, you know, in my eyes, this car is probably the only logical replacement or upgrade for the Porsche Boxer Spider that I own. I know the GT3s are great and the GT3 RSs and stuff, but you know, I fell in love with this car. Those of you following my channel, you know that I'm extremely biased. It's a car that I always say I'll never sell because, you know, it's lightweight, NA, manual, it looks special, you know, it looks sexy, and it got that manual folding rooftop, and you know, that's why I never look at the GT3s, alright? But the Speedster has the whole GT3 thing going on, except for the suspension, which is a bit softer. 4.0 liter, you know, and NA manual, of course in a very special package. So I finally get to see it in person. So I rushed all the way here to XPEL, take a look up close and personal. So if you want to join me, that's what's going to happen next. But I'm also driving my family car. Our, you know, me and my wife, we have this Mini Countryman, and this is our daily. This is the one that we drive around every day. And I drove here with the hopes of washing my car while looking at the Speedster. But you know what? The weather has its own mind of its own, and it's raining cats and dogs like crazy. Right? So let's go and check out the Speedster. Just arrived here at XPEL Malaysia. Alright, so this is a day to remember. I'm here in person with the 911 Speedster. Alright, so first and foremost, whoever bought this car is a baller, because for you to spend this kind of money on such a car, you're spending supercar price, where you expect supercar exterior, like crazy edges, you know, and crazy aero and stuff, but it's very closely related to the common 911. But you spend this money because you love the brand and you love what Porsche stands for, you love what 911 stands for, but you want something special. You want the convertible top, you want that screaming NA, you want the manual, you want the purest driving experience, so you're paying for that. So yeah, hats off to all Speedsters owners. Thank you so much for owning them. Like this owner over here, thank you for owning this car, so I get to gawk at your car. Alright, congratulations, congratulations, what a nice taste. Okay, so let's do a little walk around. There's a lot of elements I like about this car. First and foremost, GT Silver, my absolute favorite color, and the reason why is because it kind of highlights and accentuates all the curves that Porsche has. Okay, and of course, it's just a nice color, right? Let me know in the comments if you're Team Silver as well. The next thing is I love these gold accents, like sort of the revival of classic feel, because the Speedster is indeed a revival of a classic Speedster. I think it started from the 356 or something like that. There you go. As you come to the front, it looks all business as usual, like GT3. I could see that the suspension is a bit taller, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's more softly sprung and a little bit higher than a GT3. Everything is running like GT3 991.2, the 4 liter, etc. So it's all literally GT3, but it's a bit softer because it's road biased. Okay, and I believe it's running on Cup 2, Cup 2 N spec, Cup 2 tires. I've been trying them on my Alpine. They're fantastic, but not the NO spec. I'm sure it's amazing. Yeah, the front, business as usual. It has the grills from the 991.2 GT3, which I like a lot because the 991.1 looks a bit more curvy, so it's like, I mean, it's okay, but I just like this, it's more clean. And on the front, we have this white color theme going on. I believe it's part of a livery that they have. And the bumper is completely white. It looks like it's almost a paint, but I think it's a wrap. And look at the details of the sticker. It's nicely done, all right? So this customer chose to do his car's PPF fully in XPEL. I think it looks gorgeous. First of all, let's do some inspection. Yeah, what I like about XPEL is that they're able to use DAP, which is a software, to print out their PPF so it goes all around and it wraps around nicely. So it looks like there's no PPF going on even at the edges over here, right? All around the headlamps and stuff like that. Just like my Spider, great job. And I think this one is the stealth PPF. Yeah, this could be the stealth PPF, I could be wrong. But yeah, if it's the stealth PPF, very smart move because, you know, it being less glossy makes the car feel a little bit lower. central locking tabs, just like any GT3s. And look at the size of those brakes. Those are massive, right? Gorgeous. Love this color theme. Just love it. Absolute clean, nice look for this car over here, right? So yeah, PPF very well done. I believe the coating has just been set on. The customer's going to pick up the car tomorrow, right? And again, all these edges are all done so beautifully. So the rear humps, let me talk about the rear humps before I go into the interior. Personally, I think that the rear humps are not as what I would like to be, because I expect something long and smooth like the Spider, but I guess you got to make way for the air intake over here. You got to cool the engine, you got to send some oxygen to the engine. The Spider has something over here as a compromise, but the 911 needs to have this, so it kind of breaks that hump, which is well known with the Spider. But overall, it's still good looking, and just imagining driving this top down, right? So let's take a look inside. I'm so excited. Oh, look at those brown seats. Oh my gosh. Gorgeous color, right? Black and brown, right? Look at that. It's classy, isn't it? Right? Let's go in and take a quick look. Oh, all right. First of all, manual box. That's awesome, right? So Porsche makes some of the best manual box. It's very mechanical, right? It's notchy. You're confident every time you go in there. There's a nice feedback of all this movement. It's very, very nice. You can just shift without looking at it, right? Beautiful. That's beautiful spot chrono, and I believe it has that the sort of glow in the dark material going on in there. So absolutely beautiful. Yeah, wow. But everything else in here seems very normal, right? And again, hats off to the owner, because you spend that kind of money buying this kind of car, supercar price, but you still get like an average looking thing, which in my opinion is not a bad thing. And I think it's the kind of like person who buy this are very mature in their car ownership. They've tried a lot of things, but they want that no frills sort of interior, you know. I like it because it's, you know, it's just you and driving, and that's what it's all about, right? And something we don't get in our Spider or in the Boxsters, these gauges on the side over there. You know, I love it that they, you know, have that oil gauge, you know, all these little things. Really, you know, and nowadays you got all these digital clusters and all. This is really nice, right? All of them are normal gauges. So yeah, bucket seats as standard. I can imagine how nice it looks when it's all top down, right? Look at the beautiful Speedster logo over here as well, right? Yeah, business as usual here. Seats, very comfortable, right? It's a bit on the firm side, but I think I could do the whole Thailand trip in this car, and it's 6,000 kilometers, shouldn't be a problem, not at all, okay? Let me see. And here we have that numbering. It's the 68 of the 1948 models ever made for Speedsters, in beautiful gold badge, right? Very, very nice. Very, very nice indeed. I'm going to ask if it's possible for me to take down the roof and show you how it's like to. I'm going to try to see how it feels to take down the roof and then put it back up, because I heard it's manual, so I'll get to experience it in person, and whether I got permission to start the car and hear how it sounds, right? So I'll be right back. Okay, before we continue on, let's take a look at some of the specs over here. Auto blip, that's normal. We have this all in GT3 manuals, and there's 718 Spider and also GT4. This is probably PASM, right? Which is great on a road car. And then we have ESC off, TC off. This is the usual, and of course this beautiful goggle button is the musical sound that the car will deliver. And of course you got the front lifter as well, that really helps. Okay, so yeah, very excited. Okay, so the Spider's folding mechanism is way more complicated as well. This is super nice. I'm going to show you how it's done, right? So first and foremost, you gotta, as usual, you gotta, you know, open up your, there you go. But as you do that, look at this. This thing pops up like Batman, right? Right, look at that. It's like some badass Batman thing going on. Look at that. Alright, so once that's up, all you gotta do, okay, first of all, it reveals this beautiful Speedster logo over here, right? And all you gotta do is open up this thing, right? And as you open up, you'll be greeted by a different material. Now on my Spider, it's a aluminium panel. This one is carbon fiber, all right? As you need to get that lightweight philosophy going on, right? So once you're done with that, okay, it looks like that, like how a Spider is. Although it extends a little bit further because the engine is right here, right behind. You can see it's right behind the rear axle over there, right? So, and for the folding mechanism, with just one hand, you can literally just put it down. Look at that. Very easy. Okay, now that you got this all the way down, okay, all you got to do is very carefully, because it's carbon fiber. Well, carbon fiber is tough, but of course it's not my car. Very gently, just not push it down. You're actually pushing it forward, right? You're actually pushing it forward, and then voila, it comes down. And of course, before we go down, take a look at that Speedster 4.0. Just a little peek at the engine, and then we just go. Oh, click. There you go. That's the roof down. So easy. Just, you know, way more easy than my Spider, right? But look at that. Look at that gorgeous black contrast that flows in over here, showing this badge. What a gorgeous look, isn't it? That brown and GT silver, classy. Right? This brown sort of matches the gold as well. Very beautiful. And now once it's down, you can put it up pretty easy as well. All you gotta do is flip this, okay? Switch, and then, as how we did earlier, we're not gonna pull upwards. As you pull upwards, it's gonna go backwards. Okay, very simple, very easy. And same thing, we just come around here. We're just gonna gently grab this, okay, and just pull it upwards all the way. Oops, sorry. Shouldn't be using my left hand, right? So anyways, we're gonna put it all the way down, over here, voila. Okay, and the next thing is, you're gonna gently pull this down, push it forward, right? Very gently, voila. And of course, a little tuck over here. Oh, there you go. I love that they have this matte portion over here, because my Spider doesn't have that. So every time I do this, I leave my fingerprints, whereas the matte parts are more forgiving with fingerprints, right? Then once you're done with it, right, you're going to fold this down. You can see this. It's folded, right? Versus how in the Spider you have to sort of like unhook it and stuff. And then you're doing this again. Voila! And finally, you get back in your car and you pull this little button here that says voila. That's done. So much easier. So cool. Alright, so the video is done. I got a little walk around and washed my eyes a bit and satisfy my senses a bit with this car. The only thing missing right now is to hear how the engine sounds like, right? So I'm not going to rev this car. I'm just going to start it up and hear how the flat 4 sounds like on its startup, right? So let's take a listen. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with this little shot over here. Thank you so much XPEL Malaysia for letting me walk up close and personal to the Porsche 911 Speedster. Or should I say the Porsche Speedster, right? Because there's only really one Speedster. If you say the Speedster, you know it's the 911. right? Yeah, it sounds great, glorious. Any engines are the best, isn't it, right? When it comes to the sound. Yeah, so guys, if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to find out more about XPEL's products, services, PPF, coating, I've been using their products for well over 4 years right now, and I've tried many of them in the industry. This is probably the best out there, right? Just look at the gloss. Look at the gloss and the sheen and the workmanship, having all those edges being hidden, through their DAP process. They're able to cut out exact sizes, right? Yeah, look at the gloss, just intense, right? Yeah, anyways, thanks for watching everybody, and see you in another video. Bye.